Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new perspective from Biology in the Basement. I've got a little bit of a different setup here. I feel like a little child sitting at a table, but this is just so I can explain the antibodies, antigens, and everything that you'll need to understand so that we can work right through the biology whodunit demonstration tomorrow. So let's have a fact of the day so that we can get started. And just so I don't mess this up because it's a lot, it turns out that Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi are all selectively bred varieties of the same plant. They were each developed from the wild mustard plant. So, thank you, selective breeding. One more time. Always want to give a shout out to those guys. They're pretty cool. All right, so let me quickly explain to you blood and blood typing using what appears to be Babybel cheeses, but they're not. They are red blood cells. And so hopefully you're thinking right now that the red blood cell is the cell that carries oxygen and CO2 to and from the lungs to the cells of the body through the blood. Now we have different blood types, as I'm sure you are very much aware, but not everybody understands exactly where our blood types come from, what it means, why can some people give blood to others and some people cannot. And so I'm going to hopefully try to just walk you through very quickly and show you with these models here what the different blood types are, what they mean, and why we can and can't donate to certain people. So first thing we have to do is we have to roll back a little bit. We have to think about our three parts of the cell membrane, right? The main part is the lipid bilayer, and then of course we have the transport proteins, and the last one, which we're going to talk about, are what we called receptor molecules, right? Receptor molecules are molecules that are on cell surfaces that help cells communicate with each other. Most of the time it has to do with self and non-self, right? Where cells like white blood cells are patrolling your body constantly looking for non-self cells or non-self parts, dust particles, it could be anything, to recognize it, clean it up, and get it out of your body, right? To not cause any further infection and things like that. And so to do that, we have name tags on our cells. Each of our cells can elicit certain responses. We're going to talk a lot about cell receptors, but right now we're going to focus on just one type of receptors. There are many. For example, one of the ones we're focusing on right now are those receptor molecules that you've probably seen on the surface of the coronavirus capsid, right? Because if they can figure out those specific shapes of those capsids, they can start to develop antibodies to give us so that we can fight the coronavirus, or at least help us to develop a vaccine so that our bodies can make the antibodies to fight off that specific virus, which is why we get a flu virus every year. Anyways, just to give you an idea, those are the types of things. Sorry, Hoth guys. We're gonna have you take a guess of how many Star Wars guys we're gonna lose tomorrow when the boys help out with the actual blood typing part. But anyways, let's talk about blood type A. Good place to start. Now, to give you a key, since I know you can't read it because they're etched on these little dots, is blue equals A, yellow equals B. Okay, same thing with the antibodies. And then when we get to the green over here, that is dealing with your RH, which determines your positive and negative side of your blood. There's two separate genes, two separate traits, really, that give you your full blood type. So, if you have blood type A, we're not talking about positive or negative yet, just blood type A. In your blood, your red blood cells have what are called A antigens, right? The little antigens on the outside of these cells are A antigens. Floating in your blood serum or your plasma are B antibodies. Okay, and so this is why a person would not be able to donate to a person with type B blood, because the B antigens, right, would come in contact with the B antibodies, and what antibodies do is something called, let's see if I can get this here, agglutinate, which is clumping. And so this is to prevent foreign blood or other foreign particles from entering the body. So that's why a person with type A blood can't donate to a person with type B blood, because their antigens and their antibodies want to attack each other or do what's called agglutinate and clump. So blood type A has A receptors or A antigens and B antibodies, where blood type B is the opposite, B antigens and A antibodies. If you are blood type O, you have no antigens, right? Zero antigens on your red blood cells, but you do carry both antibodies, A and B. Blood type AB is the exact opposite, where you have the A and B antigens, but you have no A or B antibodies in your blood serum. And so hopefully this will explain why type O can be the universal donor, because we can add type O to any of these guys, and there are no antigens on their cell surfaces that will cause this agglutination or clumping. It is also why blood type AB is referred to as the universal recipient, because it has no antigens to react with, or no antibodies to react with the antigens on the other blood types. So this is your ABO blood typing system. Hopefully you'll also remember this is a good example of multiple alleles, where there is more than just A and B, or two alleles that determine a trait. There's A, B, and O, which is also codominance, but we won't get into the genetics of that now. Moving on. The second half of your blood type, as you've commonly heard, is either your blood type is negative or positive. Now, if your blood type is positive, you will also carry an Rh antigen on your cell surface. So this guy would just be sitting, say, right here alongside here, or here if you were O positive, or here if you were A positive or B positive or whatever, right? If you do not have the Rh antigen on your red blood cell surface, and you carry the antibody, that means your blood type is negative. So if also floating in your blood serum or your plasma is this guy, your blood type is negative. So, quick quiz. What is this person's blood type if they have a yellow antigen on their cell surface and a green Rh in their blood plasma? you guessed correctly. The answer would be B negative. So that's how we would do blood types. Okay, and this is how your blood system works. There's a nice diagram here on one of these other slides. I don't know if I can be able to find it for you quick enough. There's always a good meme here somewhere, but never. Nope, I'm gonna give up. I'm guessing my mouse just gave out on me. Anyways, I guess we'll just end on funny memes. So I hope that this gives you an idea of blood types and should prep you for a nice little whodunit that is on the lower section of this poster board that I've got set up. So what I'll do is I will move this down or set up the screen so we can see both sides if you need this for reference, and we will walk through the crime scene and the suspects and hopefully solve a crime for fun tomorrow, and the boys may even be involved. So these are just demos. There's nothing that you have to do for this. This is not extra work. This is just for your watching enjoyment and to give you some more information about blood typing. I'm going to share this with my forensics class as well as you guys in bio, and enjoy this while you're hopefully checking School Tool and getting any of the assignments that you're missing in. Okay, checking out.